All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever word for yourself. This is Jeffta reporting live from CJC Markets. Yesterday was a very, very interesting trading day due to the number of high impact news we got from our fundamental analysis. In fact, yesterday, fundamentals has the market. Fundamentals has the market. And the technical was a little bit crazy, or the fundamentals, giving attention to our fundamental analysis yesterday. I think some of my students here in Port Harcourt make some couple of dollars. We were able to analyze the markets and listen to the president or the chairman of Bank of England. So it's going to be another interesting one. And here again, I'm issuing out my $20. Yesterday, nobody was able to hit my $20. Please and please, I want you to win my $20. I'm tired of keeping it in my account. So, who is going to tell me what we are celebrating today? What is happening today? It's a very, very important event for all traders. In fact, it will be increasing or decreasing the interest rates of a particular currency or country. So if you are able to tell me what is happening today, I will personally give you $20. Please, if you know, drop it at the comment section. All right, let's kick off. So today is Friday, February 4th, 2022, and we are looking at for our fundamental analysis. By 2 a.m. this morning, there was a low impact news from the German factory orders. Like yesterday, we look at our fundamental analysis based on the Bank of England discussing their terms and conditions regarding the inflation of price or reduction of price concerning the German factory orders and the French industry and in general. But today because of that news yesterday, there was a price changing order based on the German factory orders. So 2 a.m. the news came out. Like I said, low impact news are not actually low impact news. I was able to get up this morning by 2 a.m. and see what I can get from the financial markets. So Euro did a lot of pips, not much, but at least 100 pips. It's good enough. All we need is 20 pips per day to hit our target. So at 2 a.m. this morning, there was a news based on the German factory, and if the actual is more than the forecast, it is good for you. That same euro, by 2:45 a.m., there was a news that came out on the French industrial productivity. Let me highlight it. And that same 2:45 a.m., another low impact news came out on euro, giving you the French private payroll. Now, this low impact news is of great importance. The reason why I say that, if you look from 2 a.m. down to 2:45 a.m., there was a low impact news on just one pair. So to giving you the insights that is a very important news or a very important information you need to give attention to. Yesterday, there was a lot of hawkish statements being made. If you're able to dissect that information, to look into it critically, you will understand that most of the decision they are making is based on a reduction of interest rates or the increase of interest rate based on their business partners or country they are doing business, or both on the production aspects, the industrial aspects, and the global world as a whole. So looking at this news is very, very, very important. 4:30, a news came out on GBP, giving us the insights on the construction PMI. Now, GBP was a very nice pair yesterday. In fact, the celebrity pair yesterday for GBP was good, in the sense that there were about 6 high impact news on GBP. Now, the reason why GBP did well yesterday on JPY, the market sold and the other pair it bought. Now, this is because the actual was greater than the forecast, so it was good for the British pounds. Yesterday at our online class, we gave an attention on how we can trade out market structure. Now, if you look at the GBP very well, it is trying to portray what is called the W formation when it comes to the technical analysis. Now, if you look closely, both the technical analysis and the fundamental analysis are working close hand in hand. So that is why, based on the high impact news yesterday, there was a release of data based on the purchasing managers index. So that is why we have this news here at 4:30 a.m. on GBP. So this is to tell you that if the actual is greater than the forecast, it is good for the currency. So this GBP news that came out of 4:30 is giving us the insight of the economic health businesses of the market condition based on the GBP, which is the British pounds. So this is to tell you that the market is really changing. Market dynamics is coming into play because most of the countries, most of the continents, business partners are changing their consumers' interest rates. 5:30 a.m. this morning, we are able to look at the retail sales management. And if the actual is greater than the forecast, then it is good for the pair. 7:15 a.m. this morning, we got another news. I witnessed this news. It's a medium impact news. It was a medium impact news based on the British pounds. Now, yesterday, there was a high impact news on the GBP. Remember, the statement that the Bank of England gave on the fundamental analysis yesterday moved the market to a bullish direction on GBP. Now, the reason why we need to give attention to this particular medium impact news is because of it concerns the Monetary Policy Committee. Now, the Monetary Policy Committee members vote and get to a conclusion that either they are going to increase the key interest rate and their public management and often reduce the loan aspect of the industrial part of the GBP. Now, there are certain loans, if you look at the previous statement based on the GBP as of on Monday on the fundamental analysis. Now, they are issuing out a loan this year through the World Bank organization. Now, there is an interest rate attached to that particular loan. That is why the British pounds, which is the Bank of England, are trying to review every aspect, every contract they have signed with each of the industry or country or a particular body, making a decision if they are going to reduce or increase the interest rate. So that is why they are considering the monetary policy, inviting the committee over to give them a rate, a review of how far they have gone. So this is in the forex market, we call it market dynamics. It's about to change. So that is why we are having a lot of news based on the British pounds. I'm so sad today, nobody wants to eat my $20. Nobody wants to eat my $20. So 8:30 this morning, it's already past 8:53 now. 8:30 this morning, we experienced a high impact news on card, talking about the employment change. Now, the reason why we need to give attention to this employment change on the Canadian dollar is because job that has been created in this using this Canadian dollar is an important indication of consumer spending, which accounts for a majority of the overall economic activity. Now, this is to tell you that this particular unemployment change can move the market to a particular point in price. So employment change, sorry, we're talking about employment change. This employment change, though the Canadian dollar government is trying to review their employment and unemployment rates. That is on that 8:30, there were two high impact news talking about the employment rate of using the Canadian dollar and the unemployment rate concerning the Canadian dollar. So this particular news gives you an indication of the consumer spending, because it affects and accounts for the overall economic activity. So if the actual is greater than the forecast, that is to say it is good for that particular currency, which is the Canadian dollar. So we all need to give attention to this particular news, though it has already passed, but at the same time, it is good for us to review them and see what it holds in the future. The reason why we need to review this particular news is because it changes the numbers of employed people during the previous month, which is last month, which is January. So reviewing the past events can give us an insight or can give us a review of what to expect in the future. So another one on 8:30 for the US or the US dollar average hour earnings. So they were able to discuss what an average citizen in the US economy will be able to earn annual, like every hour. In the US government, they pay their staffs, their staffs every hour $1, $10 per hour, $5 per hour. Remember yesterday, based on the USD news on the high impact, they were discussing about the unemployed and employed wage based on the US economy. Do not forget that. Yesterday, there was a discussion based on the US dollar, talking about the negotiation of wages. So they were able to come into a conclusion, releasing the news through the non-farm payroll, which is the employment change. So they were able to discuss how much they are going to pay their citizens every hour. Remember, that was what they negotiated yesterday, the wages negotiation news yesterday. Today, they were able to make that decision. So that is why we're able to see this high impact news on the average hour earnings for the USD dollar and the non-farm employment change. Now, the reason why we need to give attention to this employment change news is because job creation is a very important indication when it comes to consumer spending, which accounts for the majority of overall economic activity. Now, this is giving you an insight, giving you an highlight of the overall economic activity based on the employment change. So that is why we need to give attention to this job creation news, because it is a leading indication of consumer spending. So if the actual is greater than the forecast, then we discuss, like I said, the US economy is looking at their employment change using the non-farm payroll change and looking at unemployment rates. So that is why it is a very good one this morning for the USD dollar. It's a very good one for the USD dollar. So 10 a.m. this morning, we are going to look out for our purchasing managers index on the Canadian dollar. It's a medium impact news. This news will be released by 10 a.m. this morning. And if the actual is greater than the forecast, then it is good for that particular currency, which is the Canadian dollar. The reason why we need to give attention to this medium impact news is because it is based on the survey of the purchasing managers. So it's a very sensitive one. Like I said, not all low impact news are very low in volatility when it comes to the market. So we should give attention to this 10 a.m. news to see if we can catch a little dollars from there. So if the actual is greater than the forecast, it's good for the currency. So let's quickly rush down to our technical analysis. I'm going to share my screen to my trading app. Let's move on to gold. See what gold has for us for today. Wow. So this was what gold did yesterday. Yesterday, we analyzed the markets, that the market is going to do some crazy things yesterday based on the high impact news we are looking at in the market. And yesterday, we talked about mapping out our zones. For those of us who mapped out our zone, this could have been a good one for us. Yesterday, we have a zone, and we put our zone here yesterday. This was a very sensitive zone for us yesterday because we were able to dissect this information and speculate that once price gets to this particular zone, there will be a price rejection at this particular zone. So that is why it is good to map out a zone where you see a turning point, a reversal point. Like I said, the market in technical analysis, the four basic way the market moves in consolidation, which is building order and taking order, looking for where to seek liquidity. Then expansion will definitely take place. After the expansion, the market will either go bullish or bearish. That is the four way the technical analysis move. Now, at this particular market on gold, the market gets to this particular point and price sold below a little and gets to that particular range. Again, price rejection took place. Look at it, there was a Marabusu candlestick chart pattern that sold down the market and brought down to the port. Yesterday, what moved this particular movement on gold was our fundamentals. Like yesterday, I did mention that the fundamental has its market, that there will be some crazy things that is going to happen. Now, let's quickly map out our zone and see where gold break out our support line, our resistance line. Look at this, we have a zone here. We have another resistance zone here. We have another one here. Sorry, let me turn it to daily charts. We have another one here. So the market sold from day before last week, the market sold from this high down to this line. And we say that we have a zone here. Let me insert that zone at this particular range. We have a zone here. So the market was able to respect that zone at this particular side. Last week, the market sold below. And let me show you our resistance zone we are looking at our technical analysis. Here is a resistance zone. Here is another zone we should look at for. It is good to map out your zone because it is not always useful when you are mapping it for the first time or initially, but it is always useful for future references. Look at another zone here. We have another demand zone. Now the market sold, let me clean this off. The market sold below here, and respecting that we have a zone here, we have a zone there. The market sold below, respected this zone, move upward, down to this zone again, respected this zone, move upward. Due to the resistance level we find ourselves here, the market wasn't able to break that resistance and sold down below here. Now, the reason why we are mapping out this zone is to give us the future reference that there is a possible way that when the market gets to that particular zone, there will be a reversal point, price rejection. If you look at here, there was a price rejection at this particular zone. What type of candlestick is this? If you look at it very well, this looks like an inverted hammer candlestick. So, like we said yesterday, an inverted hammer candlestick gives you a reversal point, a possible point where there is a impulse price movement, a price rejection, turning the market the opposite direction from its initial movement. So there was a price rejection. As a smart trader, looking at this price rejection, giving you an inverted hammer candlestick pattern, you should know that the market is about to change direction. So our number one confirmation that the market will reject at this particular point in price, number one, the market has gotten to our resistance zone. Like I said, last week we mapped out our zone. We said that zone is not usually important at that initial point, but it is very important when the market started playing out. So at this point, it respected here, respected this side, and gets to this particular point in price. There was an impulse price movement on gold 4 days ago, and there was a price rejection, which gives us an inverted hammer candlestick. And when we say what is an inverted hammer candlestick, inverted hammer candlestick is a candlestick that gives you an indication for a possible reversal to the opposite direction of the initial market movement. So that is why we are looking out for the inverted hammer candlestick. Let's quickly go over. So markets we get for gold, we get to the particular point in price. There is a resistance here. It's either the market breaks this resistance zone and continue its movement upward, getting to this zone and sell downwards down to here and continue its movement, or it will resist at here, get to this particular zone, price rejection, and move upward. So two things are involved you need to look out for gold. So let's quickly move to GBPUSD. GBPUSD. Wow, it's a nice one for GBPUSD. Let's quickly map out our resistance and support zone. This is our resistance zone. This is our resistance zone. So market is getting to this, is targeting this high. There was an impulse price movement at this particular juncture. Let me highlight it. There was an impulse price movement around here that led this market to sell down, but there was a price rejection here that led to this reversal point. Now, the market is telling us that if the market is able, if the bias is able to break this particular resistance, then it is heading for this high, which is, we have a zone here. We have a zone here. Do not forget, we mapped it out last week. So if price is able to get to this particular zone, the market will reject and it will sell down and continue its W form movement. It's trying to form a W movement. Yesterday, Mr. Celestine talked about it on our online class, on the strategy class. So he's trying to form a W form, get it to here, sell down here, and get back up. So three things have been involved. If it breaks this particular resistance zone, the market is targeting up to this height to clear all stops, then move downward to here to respect this support zone to the buyers and resistance zone to the sellers. So that is what we have for GBPUSD. Then lastly, let's look at Canadian dollar JPY. Let's look at Canadian dollar JPY, because today we are going to expect a very important news. Okay. Now, the Canadian JPY is a very sensitive one. In fact, the market is currently consolidating. The market is currently consolidating. So at this particular juncture, you should expect a breakout. As a trader, when market is consolidating, you are expected to do nothing until it move out. Remember, our market moves in 4 directions when it comes to the technical analysis: consolidation, expansion, And either the market will either go bullish or bearish. That is the four movement of price. Now, the market is currently on a consolidation zone. So you are expecting price to either expand and go either bullish or bearish. So if market is able to move out of this market building order zone, it is expected that market will get to this particular point because we mapped out our zone here last week. And if market gets to this particular zone, it is expected that the market will respect this zone or creating a new high or giving us a new low. So as such, we are expected to do nothing until market gives us a clear indication that we are going to go bullish or bearish. So at this particular juncture, as a smart trader, you should do nothing. It is good that we consider this type of scenario because some of us will be coming across such scenarios. So when it comes to the technical analysis, you have to be very, very smart and very, very sensitive to information. So today is a neutral market. Normally, personally, I don't like Friday markets because deals are closing, companies are shutting down, people are going back to their houses to rest. So Fridays are usually slow, especially during 4 o'clock Nigerian time frame. So let's look at what market has for us for 4 hours time frame. Let's see what we can find there. Since the market is consolidating, let's see what we can find on our 4 hours time frame. Okay, the market is on a ranging zone. The market is bringing out a very huge range. This is range. For those of us who are price chasers, we should use our equilibrium to look at where we can buy at a discount rate and sell at a premium price. So at this particular juncture, the price has been able to respect this zone, this resistance zone. Now, we are expecting if price breaks this particular zone, we are expecting price to continue its upward movement, which is an expansion. And if price doesn't break this particular zone, it's expected that the price will go down and hit back up. So it's on a consolidation zone. That is how to trade consolidation. So this is what we have for our technical analysis. Remember, yesterday the fundamental analysis has the market. Today, the fundamental analysis has the market again because today is a very sensitive day. For those of us who are just joining us, so far we've been able to discuss what the market holds for us today regarding the fundamental analysis and the technical analysis. It is brought by you by CJC Market. So today, like I said, I gave a proposal for those of you who are here in the morning, this morning. I said, who can tell me what's happening today? I'm going to give the person $20. Yes, I think someone won the $20. Someone won my $20. He was able to tell me that today is a bank holiday for China, for the Japanese yen. This is a China holiday. So the person was able to dissect that information and give it to me. He sent it to me privately. Someone was able to win my $20. So for those of you who are just joining us, this is brought by you by CJC Market. Please join us tomorrow on our trading analysis based on crypto. The market doesn't open on Friday. The currency market don't open on Friday, sorry, on Saturdays and Sunday, which is weekends. So you can trade crypto pairs on our platform using a very low lot size, using a very low risk, because the crypto market this time around is going sideways. So we are going to analyze the market and see what we can find out from the market.